Hello. But there's a couple seconds of delay that I cannot get rid of until OBS is up and running again. So no camera for now. Other than that, let's get started. So we've had our bullish mean inversion condition for quite some time. I have been bullish on alts. As I've said before, when Bitcoin goes up, altcoins tend to go down. When Bitcoin goes down, altcoins tend to go down. The best thing for alts is when Bitcoin goes sideways. Typically results in alt season. So I know people are pretty bullish today, but it's really the altcoins that have seen most of the green. But let's talk about why Bitcoin is currently in a bullish condition. All right, I think Bitcoin's going to break out today. And I know that's that's a hot take, but let's go over the reason why. Vian Kosh, hello there. Probably said that wrong, but let me know. Anyway, now we have our wave PM periods, all below 0.5, believe it or not. That has not happened in, Jesus. When was the last time we had every value below 0.5? Have we had a value? That's, Jesus. This is the most compressed Bitcoin has been since March 13th, 2019. Right here was the last place Bitcoin was as compressed as it currently is. Okay, I'm going to split this chart so I can look at those two areas side by side. Essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to point out the two areas with the highest potential energy. Oh boy, I do love having this ultra-wide monitor. Of course, if you are tuning in now, please give me your altcoins and I will be happy to take a look at them. All right. March 15th from the look of it. And we're actually more compressed where we are now at 0.5, whereas over here in March 15th, we were at, everything was below 0.6. So this is the most compressed we have been in a very, very long time. Okay. It seems we have seen our period of extreme volatility. Our period of extreme volatility, and hold on, does this even have the same number of legs? Oh my goodness. What do we get? Initial low volatility move, initial move. First compressionary period, also known as a flag. Secondary kick up. Here, here. Compression, compression. Liquidity hunt, liquidity hunt. And then a return to trend. So very interesting how these two volatility scenarios played out. Very, 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 very similar. What I'm interested in, though, is the resulting compressionary period. So when all these periods are up above 0.9 and they all travel down below 0.7, like they have in both of these scenarios, it means there's high potential energy. And whichever way you have the most significant weighting, or rather, as soon as every period weights itself to one side, during that level of heavy compression, you can bet on that direction. So here, every value below 0.7, every period on the CCI was weighted above the 100 value. We would take a long. What do we have here? Every value is below the 0.7 value, and this scenario, everything is below the 0.5 value. Every period on the CCI is above the 100 value. That means it is safe to take a long. I am bullish right now. This is a bullish chart. Okay. I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, well, that shark, why would you take a long right at this huge resistance? Like, it's just such a very consistent resistance. Well, it's because I don't really care about support and resistances. All right, I care about potential energy. All right, even if a resistance is huge, if you have high potential energy, then it means you have the energy to blast through the wall with albeit significant effort, although the significant effort is available to be provided. Jesus, that was a convoluted sentence. You should understand it, though. You're smart. Right? So even though this is a strong resistance, because there's high potential energy, it should be very easy for price to blast through with the proper volume, which I would predict to happen if we see any kind of upward continuation here. So might buy some Bitcoin today myself. I would love to see how that turns out. Okay. It is during the times of the heaviest compression that Bitcoin sees the biggest moves. All right, on the daily chart, the last place every value was below 0.7 was here. As soon as we had every value weighted negatively on the CCI, guess what we saw? A 50% downside. Goodness, here, everything is below 0.7. Every period gets weighted positively. What do we see? Every period but the 200 in this scenario, which is tolerable because we had the confluence on the lower time frame, which we saw before on March 13th. What do we see? 200% upside. Goodness gracious. So what are we seeing now? I know it doesn't seem probable. And the daily chart doesn't paint as good of a picture. I will admit that. I think we might see a shorter volatility pop to the upside because I don't think the compressionary period we're seeing now is quite finished. All right, I'll point this out to you. Let's see if we can get ourselves ACAT readings. Nice. That actually is really clean. And I'll show you what I'm looking at. So ACAT, or the CLCP, is generated based on this blue cloud here, right? That is potential energy, all right? And above that is not potential energy, meaning you can define which ranges are probable to trade without significant force. And if you're in a compressionary period, you don't expect significant force until there is the potential energy across all periods to push past said resistance. So what are we looking at? We are getting the inklings of our new compressionary range, and this would be implied resistance. So, conflicting signals. I'm sorry, guys. I think Bitcoin has bullish signals on shorter time frames, but the daily chart is just so compressionary. Not too inclined to bet on it. I am. But nonetheless, even if holding Ethereum, very happy with it. I bought here at $186, and I've just been holding since. Right, because we've seen very long-term compression. So I'm excited. All right, let's take a look at the link. Yeah, Link's long-term uptrend is very appealing. If you are a long-term buyer, it might be worth waiting a few months. Because to be perfectly honest, the chances of it breaking this channel All right, let's figure out how to draw this correctly. Swing low, swing high, swing low. It's not very good. All right, well, I don't care. Channel, beautiful. Chances of it breaking this channel aren't all that good. To the upside, that is. And that is partially due to the outer standard deviations up here, kind of acting as a brick wall. But, you know, you got a little upside left. I don't personally want to bet on it. Although, guess what you're going to find on the 4-hour chart? Longest overexpanded period. So we can at least, at the very minimum, define trend. Just wait for a cat to load because it will give us a very, very clear signal. All right. Do you remember what I said on last live stream, guys? Oh my God, it's insane. So April 15th, we said this is the make or break price point for Link. Why? Because there's a very clear and defined longest overexpanded period. And when you have one of those, the pivot for trend is clear and defined. So we said we should bet on either up here, or if we go sideways, we can short. Lo and behold, we bounced off the pivot within only a 1.7% wick to the downside before seeing trend continuation. All right, now it looks like currently that trend pivot is sitting at 0.0004967. All right, so the longer this trend goes on, the harder it's going to be to maintain it, as the more rapidly this distribution will expand to catch up with price. So like initially, when you get your sharp move, sure, it has time to, you know, saunter on, go sideways, you know, bounce off the pivot. But as the pivot gets higher and higher and higher, right, because there are repeated quote unquote outliers as defined by the distribution, which is defined by our longest overexpanded period, that means the average and the outer standard deviations expand. And because it is expanded, the data set is wider. And because the data set is wider, it would take new, larger outliers to be defined as outliers. Hey, Ho, can you check on FBTC? Yeah. It's just going to be a defined uptrend based on whatever pivot defines itself here with ACAT. On the 80 period, yeah, no, that's already finished compressing. Okay. So that's a little harder. Hold on. Would your target be for now on Link, good sir? I think we're going to have one final thrust to the upside and then test the pivot again. I don't think it's too probable we're going to see true trend continuation right now unless we go truly parabolic. And that's not something I like to bet on. Okay. This is not an easy chart to read, I will be honest with you. Mostly because this newest expansion here hasn't caused an overexpansion, which means we don't get a trend-defining pivot. It just means that's an upward trend. So I'm long. I've been long. But I can't define the swing low for you at this time. Okay, let's check out BSV. It's pretty ugly. Jesus Christ. Do you see that mean inversion condition, guys? We get a very clear overexpansion. We get our trend defining pivot. We bounce perfectly off the pivot. We jump up, we fail. Oh my God, do you see this, guys? Do you see how stupidly accurate this definition is? Okay, I'm just going to draw where it tests this pivot perfectly. Here, test. We break the pivot, that activates the mean inversion condition. All right, mean inversion condition is active. That means we can no longer leave the band. So swing high, perfect. Swing high, perfect. Swing high, perfect. What do we see next? Because we activated the mean inversion condition, it means price needs to go down to the mean. Where's the mean, you might ask? Why, it's right here. This is stupidly clean. Let's check the 4 hour. I can't make this up. We got a compression range. Compression ranges have been really clean on this chart. Okay. I think we're going to see a bit of range trading, my man. Although, yeah, I guess it's safe to bet on. Swing high is going to be around 279. Swing low is going to be around 269. All right. With secondary outer resistances at 284 and 263. How do I see XRP? XRP is just in a long-term compressionary state. Honestly, with XRP, let's check the flow on the next chart. Okay. It's just such a cyclical coin that if you, I mean, it's really hard to look at something like this and not say, sure, eventually we're going to see our next cycle in the next significant alt season. But I would wait for that uptrend to start. And you can see my alert that I set here. Like, sure, when it crosses up this value, I'll buy it. And yes, that's 44% away. But I don't feel like trapping all my liquidity in just either sideways or down when I could have a very clear signal that we're going parabolic and just enter then. I'll buy it at higher risk, but, you know. All right, get your final questions in, folks. XLM's in the same boat as XRP. XTZ, I don't know much about. It's Tezos. All righty. All right, uptrend. Very clearly defined trend pivot. Oh, but it's almost finished compressing. No, I can't do anything with this. Same condition as F. Yes, we have this new upward thrust here, but it's not an overexpansion, so I can't define trend pivot. Sorry. All right, that's going to be it for today, folks. It's been a pleasure. I will talk to you all tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. I'm going to see you Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. MST. All right. Been a pleasure. I'll talk to y'all later. Ciao.